What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of A College Basketball Coach Rebuilds the Washington Wizards. So at the end of the last episode, we got eliminated from the playoffs. It was really sad, but we're here in the off season now, and I've been cooking up a lot of ideas since the end of the last episode. I've decided that a move needs to be made somewhere, and the area that I'm thinking we need to improve the most is on the wing. Essentially, I'm looking for a player kind of like Koulibaly that's a little bit further along. Someone that can play some defense, somebody that can spread the floor a little bit, and we just need to bring in like another offensive weapon. We hope that Collier is getting better and can become that long term, but a lot of these guys are in kind of a win now mode. I also just want to make sure I'm continuing to build upon the success that we found this last year. We went a lot further than we had anticipated, so I'd like to try and build on that success. Now, how are we going to do that is the question, right? Well, I think that there's a couple players that we can move. Guys like Dinwiddie here, maybe like a Chase Daniel or something has some value, right? So I'm kind of looking between those players, and then I want to find a selling team that would be interested in taking some picks from us. So I've already went ahead and kind of looked through all the teams that are selling and everything, and teams that didn't perform well and are looking to go somewhere different. There's not like a necessarily a huge name on the block, but there are some selling teams that are pretty good. Like even you just look at Sacramento, right? Except they don't really have a player at the position that we're looking to get. But like, you know, there's good players available. I saw RJ Barrett available. I don't know if RJ Barrett is necessarily the guy we want to bring in. He had a great season last year, it looks like, but I don't really want someone shooting 29% from three on a team where we didn't shoot great from three to begin with. So one of the teams that I was looking at the most in terms of trying to bring in a new star player for us was the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets were not very good, and they're not very young at all. They don't seem to have a plan as to how they're going to be getting better. So I think that McCall Bridges would probably be available. He's the type of guy that I think could be really valuable to us. He can score from literally everywhere on the court. He's an elite defensive player. And in terms of his contract, which I'll admit I haven't really looked at, he's in the last year of it. So they're going to be looking to sell him anyway. So I think I'm going to start this episode off by seeing if I can't pull off something big here. And now I want to try to accomplish this in the off season as well, while we have some flexibility to actually get things done. So I think it starts around Spencer Dinwiddie, right? Like we give him some quality players back, and the other one would probably be Chase Daniel here, right? And then we entice them with maybe our first round pick next year. By then, our young core is starting to get better. We're projected to be pretty solid next year, so I'd feel comfortable maybe just slapping like a top 3 protection on that. We throw in like a second round pick there that we don't care about, a second round pick here that we don't care about. I wonder if that's enough for a McCall Bridges. I suppose we see what they say about this. You asked me to give away a valuable asset. Okay, that's fine. I kind of figured that was the case. I kind of figured I'd have to give in at least one more first. So I'm willing to give up. I can't give up a consecutive first, but I'd be willing to part ways with this Sixers pick. All right, so it looks like I'm gonna have to do a little bit of negotiating. All right, so I've been messing around with the trade a little bit. Big D is included in the deal now, and I know Big D can be a fan favorite and everything, but we got to do what we got to do to move forward at the... Oh, I didn't think they'd actually take it. Oh, can we just have a salute to Big D real quick, man? I wish him nothing but the best. I mean, he low-key might start for that team next year. He was a big part of our team that we're going to have to try and replace, but at the end of the day, we have a new, best player on the team in McCall Bridges, and between Collier getting better, this moves guys like Kispert to the bench. I'm going to be bringing Corey Kispert back no matter what. We've got, an established scoring trio now with Guys like Duran out there as well. I think that was a move that just had to be made. He's in the prime of his career right now. I'm happy with that move. All right, so after shuffling things around a little bit, we moved McCall to a 3. That actually bumped him up to an 89, which is pretty awesome to say. And we still have our draft pick this year, which maybe we can get a steal at the end of the first round that'll become a rotation player for us. But just looking at the team, I think Prosper is going to be a part of the rotation next year. I hope that he continues to develop. We'll be bringing him back so he can play that backup 4 for us. He'll be a young athletic body to have come off the bench, which will be really nice. We'll probably... Ooh, now that I think about it, what happens between Koulibaly and Kispert? Decisions to be made. I didn't even really consider that. Decisions to be made, but I'll need to find a solid backup point guard for sure and a solid backup center at the very least. So that's going to be kind of the priority going into things. Alrighty, after this big shakeup of everything, let's get into the draft. This is the Cooper Flag year, I believe. Yeah, Cooper Flag, and I believe the Nets. Oh, that's actually makes perfect sense. The Nets were the worst team this year. They just traded with us. They're completely rebuilding now around Cooper Flag. I love that story. They don't have to compete for position or anything. So it looks like the next best player is Ace Bailey here. I'm not too familiar with this draft class outside of Cooper Flag, but oh, and Flory Badunga. I know Flory Badunga. I've loved watching his highlights, but yeah, no, let's just kind of go through this draft and see if anything interesting happens. There goes Cooper Flag with the first pick. That makes a lot of sense. I'll be curious to see if, yep, there goes Ace Bailey. I'll probably just be skimming through this for the most part. I'll show you guys the results at the end, but if any trades happen, we'll certainly take a look. Ooh, we have a trade here at the 5th pick already and a future first for DeJounte Murray and Onyeka Okongwu. So the Clippers are in a weird spot right now, in all honesty. They were pretty bad this year, and they have a lot of old players, so I'm kind of confused why they're doing this. Maybe they have future moves in mind, but don't really understand it. Shout out to the Hawks, though, for getting the 5th pick. Who are they taking with it? Trey Johnson. Getting a new wing to play with Trey, I guess. We apparently have another trade to announce for the 9th overall pick. Jeremy Grant on the move, along with a 2025, the 17th overall pick. Interesting. So it's kind of a salary dump move, I suppose, right? Yeah. Interesting. Another trade for the 11th pick and a future second-round pick, Kevin Huerter and Christian Wood. We knew the Kings were kind of like in selling mode, so they got rid of both of those guys, cleared out quite a bit of salary, and are bringing in the 11th overall picker, and they're taking Monty Logan. Fair enough. Oh my goodness, trades are going off right now. The 14th overall pick and a future first for Vucevic and Trace Jackson Davis. I've watched Trace Jackson Davis play in real life. I haven't been too impressed so far. Obviously, people can get better, but just a note I'm making. But hey, fair enough. People on the move. Alrighty, we're finally on the clock. I've received 18 trade offers. I'll take a look at those in a second. Let me see who else is still available, and let's sort it by overall. Let's see how good our scout did. So our scout says that Anderson Kelly is the best guy left. A 22-year-old from Indiana, so a little bit older player. That's not exactly like what I'm opposed to getting, considering we're trying to be like a competitive team and everything, and it's kind of nice not to bring in a super young player, but he doesn't really do anything well, so a little bit confused there. This guy was the 19th ranked overall player, Curtis Mason. Looks like a strong defender, a strong rebounder, can shoot the ball a little bit. What's his athleticism? C+. I'd like that to be a little bit higher, but I guess if that's where he is, that's where he is. Greg Austin. We just did trade our rookie shooter. This guy, again, kind of fits that role of the older player. Looks pretty polished offensively. How's his defense? Defense is kind of but I'm taking he was just one of those scorers in his last year of college. I think I'm going to take Curtis here. I think Curtis has some skills already that are kind of there. His potential isn't bad either, so I think I'm going to go with Curtis here, and we'll see what he can turn into one day. At the end of the day, he's a cheap player to kind of help fill out the rest of our roster. which is nice, and we can get a decent amount of time to develop him. Let's go to the end here and see what we got in him. Okay, so Scout did a pretty decent enough job. Looks like we could have gotten somebody else here, but I don't really care about that. This position's a little more interesting to me. Oh, wow. Really good defender and rebounder already. He's not as good of a shooter as we would have thought, but like, what does the potential look like? C+. So he's gonna improve a little bit. I'm pretty okay with this. I love the hustle stat. Okay. Yeah, no, we can work with this. We can work with Curtis. All right, so we signed Curtis. Team player options. We definitely want to bring back Koulibaly and Maxence Prosper. I don't know why they didn't want to bring him back, but we are definitely doing that. Giannis is a free agent. Tatum's a free agent. I guess we could have gone after guys like this, but I think the odds that people want to sign with DC are not exactly huge, but we're definitely throwing something at Corey Kispert. So looking in free agency, Kispert only wants $6 million a year. More than happy to throw a contract like that his way. Hell, he's 26. I'll throw the 4-year contract at him. Let's just get him what he wants. I know we're gonna have a log jam in terms of rotation right now. We just are, but that's a good problem to have. What we do need to find though is a quality backup point guard, and how much cap room do we have? So we're taking 11 million of cap room off because of Kispert. So we're gonna have room to go get some quality players here. The question is, who is that? Like, I kind of look at a Fred VanVleet and like, what's important to Fred VanVleet this offseason? Because he's played with Siakam before too, which is interesting. Wants to play for a winner. He doesn't care about money right now. Well, we're gonna be a winning team, so I guess you don't probably care if you're a starter or not, right? He can play defense, which is good. He can be a vet to Collier. That sounds pretty nice, actually. And his three-point shot is a little low, though. I'd kind of like whoever it is to be a competent shooter. This is the thing with getting rid of Dinwiddie, right? Is we lost out on that shooting and defense. Like, I don't regret trading for McCall at all, but it does make it a lot more complicated. Like, we could just go get Chris Paul for like a season, I guess, but even his shooting isn't that much better. And so I'd probably rather just have Van Vliet. And Van Vliet matches our system a little bit better. He has an offer, 3 years, 24 million. I wonder if he'd just take like a 2-year contract that's a little bit more than that, because what's that? That's about 8 million a year right now. I wonder if he'd do like a 2-year, like 18 million or something like that. I wonder if that's a little bit more appealing to him on a team that's better, right? All right, I decided to just move ahead a day so that we could make sure that Kispert was all locked in. So now I'm back here on the second day of the moratorium, and I'm thinking a little bit more that I want to bring Van Vliet in. Davion Mitchell was someone that I looked at a little bit as well, but he's in restricted free agency and still not really the shooter we want. Brogdon's like solid. I like Brogdon a lot, and he can shoot. He's just a little bit older. And you know what? Let me look at his offers. So people are offering him more like long-term deals. The Hornets, I'm kind of surprised. Does he not really care about playing for a winning team? What are play for winners? He's kind of just all over the place. So he's probably just going to take the best offer that he gets. I do think that we're going to offer Fred VanVleet, though. So let's try this like 2-year, like $9 million offer and see what he thinks of that. What did you think of that? He liked that offer a lot. He thinks that's way more appealing. Okay, I feel good about that then. So let's go to centers. I need a backup center. So we lost out on a lot of scoring by getting rid of Big D. And that's probably not something we can necessarily replace. Oh, there's Mark Williams. I could just eliminate that problem altogether and just bring in Mark Williams, the problem that we faced in the first round of the playoffs. But it'd be nice if we could find an offensive kind of weapon like that again. But I also wouldn't mind having like a stronger rim defense on the bench, because knowing what our bench kind of looks like right now, we have a lot of switchability, we have a lot of defense, which is really good. So maybe we try and go just like all defense. I don't know. The guy I'm kind of looking at is Andre Drummond. If you guys remember in the playoffs, we got completely out rebounded, and Andre Drummond would 100% solve that problem. I know he's not a system match or anything like that, but he might just be the player that we need more than anything else. And I think he'd be a good mentor to Duren because he's kind of what we're trying to turn Duren into. So I think, and he's pretty cheap. Like, so I think I'm going to throw like a little bit more at him just to try and convince him to come join us for the season, and I presume he likes that offer a lot. Okay, let's move forward. It looks like we're going to get Fred VanVleet and Drummond to come along with Kispert. Let's make sure all of that goes through. Love it. We still actually have $10 million in cap space, which is pretty nutty. That doesn't mean I want to spend it all. That leaves us flexibility to make a trade in the middle of the season if things aren't working well, which presumably we will, given the amount of depth we have more than anything else. But I'm happy with the team that we're putting together right now. I'm gonna go look at some potential like third strings, probably bring some veterans in, and I'll let you guys know who we pick. Lord, this is an absolute no-brainer. We are bringing John Wall back to Washington on a minimum contract. Absolutely, we are bringing John Wall back to Washington this year. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has no offers as well. I need a third string too. I presume he'll get a little bit worse than where he is because he's actually like a quality rotation piece at the moment. But if nobody else wants to bring in KCP, I'm bringing KCP in. We talk about bringing good vets in as well. Nobody's offering Steven Adams a contract. Ultimate locker room guy. Bringing Steven Adams in. Let's see if we get all these guys. Got John Wall, got KCP. Love to see it. Got Steven Adams. I think that puts our roster at 15, right? Got 3 at every position. That's a beautifully built roster. So hey, this is your Washington Wizards for this next season. All right, so I just simmed through free agency and everything. We didn't make any other moves. Let's go forward to player progression. I'm very curious about this. So McCall just looks like he's excited to be here. Jordan Poole actually like going up and everything. We take that. Collier up to an 82 overall. That's what I'm talking about. Duren looks like he's getting a little better. Got a little smarter. Love to see that. Not surprised Fred dropped a little bit. I don't like seeing that his three-point shot's going down, but hopefully Fred can still do all the things that we need him to do because he's actually going to need to be a decent scorer for us off the bench this year. Now that I think about it as well, though, we can probably stagger the rotation a decent amount to kind of help with that. Kispert looks like he stayed the same along with Bruce. Drummond didn't really. Drummond's still getting smarter. I love it. Koulibaly's up to like a 77, 78. Prosper looks like he's getting a lot better. Maybe Prosper's not in the rotation, though, right now, funny enough. And that's kind of hard to swallow because I kind of like to see his game in there. But we'll see how people start the year. He's probably going to start as like the 11th man on the team, and he can move up if needed. KCP went down as expected. So did John Wall. So did these guys. And Curtis Mason, that boy. Hey, he's going to be the rook on the team. Got to have one. Alrighty, so we're here with the new season. Very, very excited about it. We've got a team I'm very excited about. A lot of new faces. And we're just gonna have to kind of get everybody in spots right now. Like, let's set everybody up with mentors. Let's figure roles out, who's playing in the rotation, things like that. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is player mentorship. Jordan Poole doesn't need one. Koulibaly definitely. We're giving him a mentor. Who's it gonna be though? Could it be like a KCP? That's not a bad mentor to have. Yeah, let's hit you up with like Claymore. Do you have any other spot finder, open looks? I kind of like that. Yeah, let's get you set up with KCP for the year. I like that. Collier, John Wall for sure. And y'all know I hooked John Wall back up with his number 2. Had to welcome him back. So what do we want? Relay passer, 100%. Let's get that going right away. Speed booster, that just sounds awesome. 2-step, slithery, Giant Slayer. Give me Giant Slayer. Those are the ones that we're going to want out of him this year, so I like that. Siakam doesn't need one. Duren. Steven Adams, for sure. Maybe not. What about Drummond? Ooh, there we go. So back down Punisher. I don't need that out of him. Fast twitch I want. Rise up I want. Fearless finisher. Maybe brick wall. That'd be really nice. Box out beast. Give it to me. Give me Hall of Fame Jalen Duren box out beast. That's what I'm talking about. Don't need anything here. Maxence Prosper. Let's find who can help you out. Is Steven Adams a decent mentor to you? Possibly. Yeah, because if you can get some of these things going, you might be able to find your way into the rotation later. He doesn't need one. Curtis. Siakam is who I imagine you kind of taken after. Let's talk about Pro Touch. I don't think Rise Up's really your thing. Scooper, Spin Cycle, maybe Blinders. I could kind of see that. Post Playmaker. Big Driver. No. Yeah, let's go Interceptor. I like that for him. Kispert doesn't need one, neither does Van Vliet. I think that's just about everybody. Okay, so mentors are set. I feel pretty good about that. We'll go into like the individual training now, and you guys don't need to watch me do this. I'm just going to kind of get it set up. Alrighty, so we feel good about how everyone's going to be training this year. Oh, if y'all don't get Fred Van Vliet out of that starting lineup, thank you very much. So we're going to go back to a 10-man rotation, at least for the season right now. So Collier, Poole, Bridges, Siakam, Duren. That's a pretty solid 5 right there, I must say myself. We are going to drop some of these minutes, though. I would feel good about keeping Van Vliet there, Brown there. We're probably going to move Drummond up a little bit if I were to guess. 26 minutes here. I'm going to mess with these lineups just a little bit. All right, y'all. I think this is the rotation I kind of worked out. With a lot of these guys here kind of getting the brunt of the minutes. I know it's not honestly a ton, but we have a deep bench, so I'm hoping this kind of keeps everybody's like fatigue low throughout the season. Van Vliet and Brown are gonna kind of lead our bench unit. I may even we'll see kind of how things shake up. But Van Vliet's probably going to be our scorer off the bench, I would presume. I actually moved Drummond over to this spot here with Kispert, who went from starter last year to kind of 9th man. He was always more of a role player, right? But he's going to be another guy that I'm looking to really get buckets for us off the bench. So I don't know. We're going to have to mess with lineups and see where everybody fits. Because I'm not quite sure yet with Koulibaly being that 10th man. Prosper is going to be there for us, and yeah, I think this is kind of how we're going to run things. I may want Steven Adams in. I think I'm going to want him over Caldwell Pope, just in case one of the centers gets hurt in the game. As far as points of emphasis for us this year, we did get more shooting, so we want to shoot. Offensive rebounding, yeah, I'd say some crash. We might be keeping a lot of this the same. Limiting perimeter shots. We're going to want to outshoot people this year. Neutral defensive aggression, I think that's fine. We have enough quality defenders, a lot of switchability. That's really good. And crash defensive glass. Okay, same thing as last year. Basically, we're running it back. System proficiency, I assume, kind of staying the same. Yeah, so we're gonna keep it where it was. As far as tendencies goes, I'll mess with like the real specifics of things, but what I want to mess with is shot tendencies. So Jordan Poole was our leading scorer last year. Got us a smooth, is this, which year is which? 23, 24, that was 18 points a game. Is that correct? I think it is. Did he only get us 18 points a game last year? I'm a little bit confused, but maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, so his touches are going to decrease a decent amount, mostly because I want McCall Bridges being option number 1 right now, with Siakam being probably more of a here. That's what I'm kind of thinking. You two are going to be the primary scorers. And then Siakam probably after that. I mean, John Wall. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. Collier, he's going to assume more of this kind of role again. Probably more of a distributor. Because looking at his ratings and everything, while they have improved a lot, he's going to be more of a facilitator, Christ, on this team. So that's kind of where I see him falling into things. Van Vliet, though. I'm gonna need a little bit more out of Van Vliet because he's gonna be more of a scorer in his role. Koulibaly's good, Brown's good, Duren's good. I like where the rest of these are at. I think because Kispert, I'm gonna need him to shoot. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. As far as touches go, probably want them kind of staggered like this. Van Vliet's going to get a lot of touches. Siakam, probably around there. Collier, his touches are going to be up more so that he can distribute. And yeah, no, that's going to work for me. I'm going to mess with all these other little tendencies now. Alrighty, so I got all the tendencies kind of figured out. Kind of the same thing, avoiding mid-range shots, avoiding little 10-foot jumpers and stuff. We messed with everybody's three-point tendency. Van Vliet, I brought his down from where his was. I gave Jordan Poole a little bit more on the leash. On the first season, he was pretty inefficient. Last year, he was pretty efficient. This year, let's see where he can go now. We're telling McCall Bridges, shoot that ball. Along with Corey Kispert, shoot that ball. You got an open shot. I want you guys pulling. You guys are our best shooters. Koulibaly's went up a little bit, so that's kind of cool. And guys like Drummond, it's under the hoop or nothing, pretty much for them. So, yeah, I feel pretty confident about our game plan and stuff going into this first game. Last thing to do here, kind of on the business side. You see we're a profitable team right now. Let's see just how profitable we can be. I want to look at pricing. So people think our parking is a little egregious. So let's bring that down. Let's remember we were at about 9 million, but we were a good team last year. Let's see. It's expensive to live in DC, man. Let's bump this up a little bit. Dang, y'all charging it's a hat. For Christ's sakes, $15 here. We want people to feel like they got a good experience here, right? And we overcharging for everything, the dogs, the soda, the everything. So let me mess with this for a sec. All right, so the reason we do things like this is, oh, look at that profit, 34 million, so that we can do stuff like this. Let's go to finances. Let's go to team budget. See, we made money last year, so we get to make a little increase. We're going to have to pay people very soon. So I'm going to increase this a little bit. Let's affect like fan interest. Let's get people in the stadium. We don't need free agents or anything. Let's just try to increase the sales a little bit more. The staff is fine. We're going to throw the rest of it into the player budget, man. We're going to have to pay these guys eventually. We've set our budget for the year, and we finish off with $32 million in profit we're projected right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. Another thing I thought about doing was I kind of wanted new uniforms for the season, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I hate the uniforms that we rock with, but you know what, it's whatever. It's just whatever at the end of the day. If you guys have designs or something, shoot them my way or something like that. Upload them to 2K. Let me know where I can find them. I'd love to see them, just because, I don't know, I just don't rock with the ones we got. Alrighty, y'all. Now that we kind of have everything set up and ready for the new season, I think we're going to call it there. Next episode, we'll play our first game. Y'all let me know who we should play. Looking at a lot of new teams in the league, right? So I don't know. We'll have to take a look around and see who we want to play. But yeah, leave suggestions in the comments below. What do you guys think of the offseason and everything? Made a lot of big moves. I'm excited about the team we got in front of us. And yeah, no, it's going to be a good year. We're in contention this year, I think. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Leave a like and subscribe as always, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, y'all. Bye.